Well, alright! Welcome back to As It Should Be. Paul Bertolino here in the world-famous As It Should Be Studios. And, well, today I decided it was time to do another random record pull. Yeah, I haven't done one of those in a while. Yeah, you know, I have all the records that I usually have in front of the records, out of the way, the sort of display records, so I can go in and grab records. Usually I blindfold and go in. I'm not going to blindfold. I'm just going to close my eyes, and you're just going to have to take my word for it. I'm not going to go through the whole, blindfold. Whatever. But before I get started, I want to point out I'm wearing my Good Records t-shirt. Yeah, Good Records, Dallas record store. The owner being the great Chris Penn. I don't know if you know this record store, if you know Chris Penn. Well, yeah, Chris Penn is the guy who opened up Good Records. He's also the guy who is responsible for Alice Cooper's Live at the AstroTurf. Yeah, Live at the AstroTurf is something that Chris has done for years at Good Records, where he has bands playing live on the stage that he has in the store. And, of course, in 2015, was it? He arranged to have the original Alice Cooper group show up and play live in his store, reunited, and it became a documentary, it became a record, and yeah, it's amazing stuff. And Chris is just an exceptionally great guy, and a big part of the whole Dallas music scene. Everybody loves Chris. Everybody loves Chris, as it should be. And the Pretty Few New York City, the band that I sometimes play with, who plays the first Alice Cooper album in its entirety live, we have played Chris's store on the same stage that the Alice Cooper group themselves reunited on. It was a great time, and Chris is a great guy. As I've said, he just had a recent accident. He had a really major recent accident where he fell off a ladder when he was tending to something outside the store, and he's in the hospital right now, and he's in pretty bad condition. Anybody interested in helping, I'm putting a link down below in the description for his GoFundMe. Yeah, help out Chris Penn. But anyway, so on to the actual video. As I said, that is a random record pull, of course, where, I usually put on blindfold, but this time I'm going to close my eyes. You just go back there and you feel around and pull a record and riff on it, discuss it, talk about it. All right, here we go. I don't know how many I'll do. I think I usually do about 10. We'll see how it goes. All right, so let's try one. Let's see what I got here. Oh, okay. All right. The thing is, I've done enough of these now to where I sometimes go, okay, have I pulled that one before in one of these videos? I don't remember, but I don't know. We'll see. You let me know if I've already discussed this one. I've probably discussed it, but have I pulled it on a random record pull? Well, anyway, ELO. Yeah, ELO with Secret Messages. Yeah, their 1983 album. I love this album. I absolutely love this record. This is not a well-loved ELO album, as far as I can tell. I think, well, obviously a lot of people, or most people, pretty much prefer the 70s stuff, as do I. But the early I think the early 80s stuff is pretty good. Balance of Power, maybe not so much, but, Time, and this one, great. Now, I completely ignored this album forever. Seen a million copies of it, and just ignored it, because I thought, 1983 ELO... I probably don't need to bother with that. Well, I was wrong. I was absolutely wrong. I don't remember what it was that got me to finally listen to it. I think I was just in the right mood one night, and maybe, I probably went to Spotify or whatever, maybe YouTube, and just started going through some ELO albums that I hadn't listened to. I kind of think, I probably poked through Balance of Power, because I still don't have that. I don't actually have a vinyl copy of it. I don't have it in any capacity. And for the longest time, this one I didn't. And I went and I listened to it, and I went, wow, I really love this record. Now, on paper, it seems like something I shouldn't love. I mean, it's a very 80s record, very early 80s record, but man, I love it so much. What do we have here? I mean, we have the title track, Secret Messages. Love it. Loser Gone Wild. Bluebird. Bluebird, I believe, was a single that didn't do shit, and it should have. It's a great single. Four Little Diamonds. Stranger. Oh, man. Such amazing stuff. Now, they did have one hit on this album, Rock and Roll's King, which I don't like. You know, I did a video where I rank the ELO singles, where I discuss all the singles, and yeah, Rock and Roll's King is not one of my favorites. You may want to go watch that video. That's not one of my favorites, but most of the rest of this album. Alrighty then. Alright, up next, let's see. Okay, let's go down below here. Oh, let me go all the way down. I'm going to go all the way down. Alright, what do we have here? Oh, shit. Well, you're going to be shocked. You're going to be stunned. How could these guys possibly come up? Red Cross. Yeah, Red Cross. Now, this is a fairly recent reissue of the Teen Babes from Monsanto album, or EP. Well, they put out, in 1984, they put out an EP, Teen Babes from Monsanto, which is all covers. 5 tracks, right? And it's a classic. It's a Stone classic. Well, this is a reissue that they did, like a self-released reissue that turns the EP into a full LP. Because over the years, they've done a number of covers that they've recorded and included as B-sides or maybe had on comps. And so they added a bunch of other covers that they had done over the course of their career to date. And turned it into a full LP. They do a really great... One of the tracks they added was a version of It Won't Be Long by the Beatles. Well, now, the band The Quick had done a copy, or had done a cover of it, and they turned it into this really great kind of Sparks-ish sort of version of the song. And Red Cross basically do that version, and it's great. It's absolutely great. But yeah, this has the classic of them covering Deuce. That's the opening track. Red Cross covering Deuce. What the hell more could you want? Yeah, they do Bowie, they do the Stooges, they do a Stones cover, they do a great version of Citadel from Satanic Majesties, they do a Shangri-La's tune, Heaven Only Knows, and of course they do Blow You a Kiss in the Wind, which is a Bewitched, well, it's a Serena from Bewitched cover. Anybody who ever watched Bewitched, a lot of people probably know this. Serena, the other character that Elizabeth Montgomery plays in the show, did this great song called Blow You a Kiss in the Wind that I believe was written by Boyce and Hart. Well, they covered that song on this record, and it became a Red Cross classic. And it's a totally different cover. The album cover is completely different, but yeah, Red Cross, Teen Babes from Monsanto. Okay, all right. Let's go to another one here. Okay, I'm going to try going down here, grabbing something down here. Although something down here is probably something I've talked about recently. Let's see. Oh, well. Prince, Sign of the Times. Yeah, okay. Well, this is actually my original Sign of the Times. This is the very copy of this album that I bought the day it came out. I've told the story on videos 1,000 times before about the day this was released. I'm not going to tell it here because I've beaten it to death. But suffice to say that I was really excited about this record and bought it the very day it came out, and this is that copy. Let's see here. Oh, okay, yeah. It's not... Look here. It's not in shrink, but I actually cut out the hype sticker at the time and kept it, and it just sort of, well, it was sitting very nicely there in the plastic until I ruined it. But yeah, Sign of the Times. Oh, and I believe here's a hype sticker from the cassette, I think, which I never owned. I have no idea where I got the cassette hype sticker, or maybe it's the CD hype sticker. That could be it. But yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite Prince albums. It's a very popular opinion to love this Prince album, but I mean, I have loved this since the day it came out, and you know, there are some tracks. I think It's Gonna Be a Beautiful Night is a track that I would definitely replace. In fact, most of side 4 could be better. But outside of that, I mean, well, in the opening track, I think it has a weak opening track, Play in the Sunshine, Housequake, A Ballad of Dorothy Parker, Starfish and Coffee. I mean, it's just great song after great song after great song after great song. And he had like 3 or 4 albums worth of material that he was choosing from to create this album. And it's all out at this point because there's a huge sprawling deluxe CD set of this that just has absolutely everything that was even being considered for this, and that is absolutely incredible. But Sign of the Times, I mean, okay, this is gonna bug me now. Oh, whatever. Okay, Sign of the Times. All right, let's try another one. All right. Let's go down here. Okay, let's try. Okay, what do I have? Oh. Taeko Onuki. Yeah, Taeko Onuki. Yeah, this is her album, 1978 album, Mignon. Okay. Who the hell's Taeko Onuki? Well, a lot of people probably have seen in my videos where I discuss, or I quite often, Tatsuro Yamashita comes up in videos now and again, and he's a Japanese artist who started out in, I mean, you know, when did he come out? Around 75 in the band Sugar Babe. He was initially in the band Sugar Babe, but then that band broke up after only one album, and he went solo, and you know, he's been a legendary classic artist of the city pop genre ever since. Well, Taeko Onuki was also in Sugar Babe. Yeah, Taeko Onuki and Tatsuro Yamashita were sort of the 2 main songwriters and vocalists in the band, and you know, they went their separate ways and both became huge solo artists. And this is one of Taeko Onuki's most classic albums. Her biggest album is, of course, her second solo album, Sun Shower, from the year before, from 77, I think. Yeah, that's considered her all-time classic. But honestly, you know what? I like this one more. This one is absolutely incredible. There's Taeko right there in the back. And yeah, this is a pretty cool record. I mean, if you like 70s kind of, you know, R&B soul kind of influenced city pop with a whole lot of, you know, kind of a little, maybe a little yacht rockish, maybe a little bit, but just great stuff. Taeko Onuki, 1978, Mignon. Okay. Okay, well, okay, I'm gonna go down below. There's some records down below you. Alright, so I'm gonna go down there and I'm gonna choose a record. See what I get. Okay. Oh god, this feels a little thick. What is this? Oh shit, okay. Well, Arthur Verocai. Now, I've definitely talked about Arthur Verocai on this channel before. If you watched our Albums of the Year series, the 1972 list, this album was on my list for that year. And, whew, man, this is a reissue. Original copies, impossible to get. But this is an amazing Brazilian artist that... He just, well, I mean, I guess he has put out other records over the years since then, but really, this is kind of really the Arthur Verocai album. Yeah, his 1972 self-titled album, and I discovered this because I had a roommate about, I don't know, 8-9 9 years ago, maybe about 10 years ago, who turned me onto this record, and I just absolutely fell in love with it. It's just like this, it's the cinematic, beautiful cinematic Brazilian record from 1972. It sounds like a really just gorgeous movie soundtrack. Like from almost like from a kind of underground film, maybe, or just something that's not a Hollywood soundtrack. Okay, but it's really a gorgeous record. He came and played live in New York City about 2 years ago for the first time ever, playing this record in its entirety out at Lincoln Center, and I was there, and it was absolutely incredible. And if you like Brazilian pop music, this you have to check this out. Arthur Verocai. Okay, what do I have here? I have okay, that's 5. So I'm going to do 5 more. Okay. Go. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Oh, well. Okay. Pink Floyd, A Saucer Full of Secrets. This is the fairly recent Record Store Day reissue of the Mono Mix. Yeah, this is the Mono Mix. It has the hype sticker and everything with the fake flip back. Yeah, that's the thing about this. I love this album. This is one of my very, very, very favorite Pink Floyd albums, and it's really amazing, really cool to get this great sort of reproduction, really nice reproduction of the mono record, except that they did a fake flip back. They did that for the first 2 records. They did mono reissues of Piper at the Gates of Dawn and this album, and they didn't do a real flip back. It's like, as much as they're charging for these records, they could have done a legit flip back. I'm pretty sure I've complained about that on videos before. But yeah, Saucer Full of Secrets, I'm one of those maniacs who really loves and kind of prefers the first couple albums. One of the things I love about this record is I find this to be the creepiest Pink Floyd album. And, Richard Wright is, honestly, he's the MVP on this record for me, I think. Yeah, I love his voice on this early stuff, and I love his songs and his creepy keyboard stuff. And, God, Let There Be More Light. Remember a Day. Oh man, Remember a Day is one of my favorite Pink Floyd songs. Set the Controls for the Heart of the Sun. Corporal Clay kind of sucks, and that's a Roger Waters song. The title track, Seesaw, Jug Band Blues, which is of course the final Syd Barrett song to be actually issued to be included on a Pink Floyd album. He's not really officially in the band anymore, but he does appear on the final track. And Saucer Full of Secrets, one of my very, very favorite Pink Floyd albums. Okay. All right. Let's try some up here. All right. Oh, well, I don't have much to say about this one. The Blues Project. Yeah, the Blues Project with Projections. Now, this is Al Kooper, and who else is in this band? Who else is in this band? It is, that's right, Steve Katz and Al Kooper. This is like their pre-Blood, Sweat, and Tears band, and this is a mono copy of the album in Shrink, and I like this record a lot, but I'm not really that knowledgeable about it. Tom Wilson produced it. It's classic. I mean, this is one of those records you've seen a million used copies of before and probably haven't picked it up, and for the longest time I didn't pick it up. What got me to pick it up was that I want to say roughly 20 years ago, I went through like a major Al Kooper phase where I was just really, really getting heavily into him, getting all solo albums and picking up all these different things and just going on a deep dive. And so I ended up picking this up, and it's a really great album. But yeah, I never really went in that deep with this particular album. I just know I like it. And well, anyway, Blues Project, Projections, mono. Okay. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3 more. We're going to do 3 more. Okay. Go over here. Okay. Oh, I'm not doing that one. I pulled Gene Pitney with Superstar. I don't know anything about this record. I have it. I barely listened to it once. I got it because I bought. Well, I guess I could riff on this somewhat. I got this record because I'm not really a Gene Pitney fan, but I ended up getting really heavily into his Heartbreaker album. Yeah, I mean, one day I heard Heartbreaker on the radio or whatever, and I was like, oh yeah, this song, I really love this. This is actually a really great song. And I ended up looking it up and listening to the whole record and really getting heavily into the whole album. And I got that, and I love the Gene Pitney Heartbreaker album. So as a result, I bought this, thinking, oh, well, I think this is probably the next one, or it's one of the later ones like that one. And, I mean, it was okay. I didn't end up really loving it. I don't remember a single track from it. I probably listened to it once, but yeah, but basically this is in my collection simply because I love the Heartbreaker album from '68 by Gene Pitney. So there you go. I managed to find something to say about that album. Okay, let's try this. 2 more. All right. I'm gonna go down here again. Okay. Ooh, oh, nice one. Okay. Tom Rush with Circle Game. Yeah. Now, you want to talk about an album. I said this about the Blues Project album. You want to talk about an album you have run into a million times at thrift stores, going through, digging through bins, wherever. You have seen this album. You have seen 1,000 copies of this album. I certainly have. And for years and years and years, I just passed it right by. It kind of looked interesting. It's a 60s album on Elektra, on the old gold Elektra label, with the gold Elektra inner sleeve that I have to try to get back in now. Okay, yeah. But I always thought, it kind of looked like it was probably like a folk album that kind of looked sort of cool, but that I wasn't really going to get into. I don't know. I just sort of glossed over it. Well, at some point, a friend of mine, my friend James, he kind of turned me on to the record. He told me I really needed to listen to this record, that he really loved it. So I pulled it up and I gave it a listen, and I ended up falling in love with it. It is folky, but it's a really good kind of psych folk record. He does some really great Joni Mitchell covers on this album, Circle Game being one of them, and this is a really great Sunday morning album. Yeah, if you're looking for something on a Sunday morning or late at night that's really just mellow and just, get you into that space, that just like, this is a really great album. I haven't dug really into any of his other stuff. From what I can figure, this is probably the only album that really kind of sounds like this, and it's the sweet spot. I think it's kind of the sweet spot if you want to go Tom Rush, and yeah, I love the hell out of this record. Tom Rush, Circle Game. Okay, last one, and I'm gonna try another one down below here. I have two cubby holes, and I've chosen one from one of the cubbies, but I'm going to go to the other one. Let's see what I get. Okay. Oh. Knocking the mic out of place here. That's the problem. The mic and everything is kind of in the way, but we'll see what we have here. Oh, Spanky and Our Gang. Spanky and Our Gang, yeah, the very first album. I believe this is just self-titled, right? Yeah, but this, it has Sunday Will Never Be the Same and Lazy Day. I love Spanky and Our Gang. Now, yeah, I mean, they have really great singles. Again, like Sunday Will Never Be the Same and Lazy Day. Like to Get to Know You is one of my favorite tracks of all time. My favorite singles. Love that. I absolutely love that track so much. That song. Yeah, just everything about that single I love so much. But you know what? They're really great beyond their singles. Like, there's a lot of really, really great tracks on, well, there's this album, there's the Like to Get to Know You album, and then there's the Yellow album that I can't remember the name of. It's one of those albums they have that's kind of named after two singles. It's like this single backed with that song. I don't remember. It's the Yellow cover. I'll put it right here. Yeah, that one. Yeah, all three of those albums are really, really great. But this is the first one, and, you know, probably has, well, it has some of the biggest hits on it. This originally came with a poster, which I don't believe I have here. Yeah, I don't have the poster in this. I may have a copy with the poster, but this one definitely does not have it. Yeah, you know, gatefold. Woo! Yeah. I think Spanky and Our Gang are a wildly underrated, great 60s pop band from the, a 60s pop band from the 60s. Huh. See how that works? Great singles, some great album cuts. Spanky herself, incredible vocalist. Honestly, she was in the running. When we did our favorite vocalist video, Tommy and Crystal and I, we did our favorite vocalist. She was under consideration. Like, I really love her as a vocalist. I mean, again, underrated, great pop singles, great albums, tracks, and unfortunately mostly forgotten band, unjustly. Spanky and Our Gang. So yeah, anyway, yeah, that's it. That is it for my most recent record, random record pool. As opposed to recent record roundup. Random record pool. I gotta get this straight at some point, huh? Alright, everybody, thank you. Thank you for watching these videos, and thank you for subscribing if you have, and if you haven't, maybe consider subscribing. If you do, click the little bell because of notifications. But do come back on Thursday, because Crystal Durant and Tommy Von Boyd are going to be back here in the world-famous As It Should Be Studios, and we're going to be ranking the entire catalog of Rush. Yeah, we're going to be doing the whole Rush catalog, from the first album all the way to Clockwork Angels, ranking the albums, and you should be there so you can get really offended by our choices. Yay! All right, yeah, well, hopefully I'll see you guys then. Well, all right! Welcome back to As It Should Be. Paul Bertolino here in the world-famous As It Should Be Studios. And, well, today I thought I would do another recent record roundup. Random record pool. I knew it was one of those R alliteration videos that but I need to get this shit figured out in my head in advance. Okay, alright. Not recent record roundup, but random record pool. Okay, alright. It's sort of alliteration. Okay, alright. Well, alright!